Jnanakosha Upanishads.
ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवज्रमस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणान् ब्रह्मणस्पदान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः ॐ पूर्णमिदं पूर्णमदः पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेव अवशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Amrita Bindu Upanishad of Krishna Yajur Veda. Om. Manas, mind, is said to be of two kinds, the pure and the impure. That which is associated with the thought of desire is the impure, while that which is without desire is the pure. To men, their mind alone is the cause of bondage or emancipation. That mind which is attracted by objects of sense tends to bondage, while that which is not so attracted tends to emancipate. Now, in such as much as to a mind without a desire for sensual objects, there is stated to be salvation. Therefore, an aspirant after emancipation should render his mind ever free from all longing after material objects. When a mind freed from the desires for objects and controlled in the heart attains the reality of Atma, then is it in the supreme seat. Till that which arises in the heart perishes, till then it, manas, should be controlled. This only is true wisdom. This only is true dhyana, meditation. Other ways are but long or tedious. It, Brahman, is not at all one that can be contemplated upon. It is not one that cannot be contemplated upon. It is not capable of contemplation, and yet it should be contemplated upon. Then one attains Brahman that is devoid of partially. Yoga should be associated with swara, sound accent. Brahman should be meditated upon without swara. By meditating without swara upon Brahman, that which is cannot become non-existent. Such a Brahman is partless, devoid of fancy and quiescent, or free from the action of mind. Whoever cognizes I to be that Brahman attains certainly Brahman. A wise man, having known that Brahman, that is without fancy, without end, without cause or example, beyond inference and without beginning, is emancipated. There is for him then no destruction, no creation, no person in bondage, no devotee, no aspirant for salvation, no emancipated person. This is the truth. Atma that should be contemplated upon is one in the three states, the waking, the dreaming, and the dreamless sleep. There is no rebirth to him who goes beyond the three states. The one Bhuvatama of all beings is in all beings, like the moon. Reflected in water, he appears as one and as many. While a pot is being carried from one place to another, the akasha, ether that is within it, is not carried along with it. As the pot alone is carried, jiva within the body may be likened to the akasha, like the pot. The body has various kinds of forms. The body which perishes again and again is not conscious of its own destruction. But he, the jiva, knows it always. He who is enveloped by the maya of sound is never able to come to or see the sun or Parabrahman. From the darkness of ignorance, should such darkness be cleared, then he alone sees the non-dual state. Parabrahman is Shabdakshara. What remains after the cessation of Shabda Vedas, that is Akshara, indestructible, should be meditated upon by a learned man who wishes to secure quiescence to his Atma. Two Vidyas, sciences, are fit to be known as Shabda Brahman and Parabrahman. One should have completely mastered Shabda Brahman, attains Parabrahman. Having studied well the books, the learned man should serve and studiously in jnana, the acquisition of knowledge, and vijnana, self-realization, according to such knowledge. Then he should discard the whole of the books. As a person in quest of gains, grain gains, gives up the straw. Though there are cows of different colors, yet their milk is of the same color. Like milk is seen jnana, and like cows are seen the different kinds of forms in the universe. As ghee is latent in milk, so is vijnana, self-realization, latent in every being. Through churning always the manas with the churning stick of manas and the string of jnana, Parabrahman, that is partless, calm and quiescent, should be brought out like fire from the wood. I am that Brahman, that Vasudeva who is support of all beings, who lives in all and who protects all creatures, is myself. That Vasudeva is myself. Such is the Upanishad. The Amrita Bindu Upanishad is Om, may he protect us both together, may he nourish us both together. May we work conjointly with great energy, may our study be vigorous and effective, may we not mutually dispute. Om, let there be peace in me, let there be peace in my environment, let there be peace in the forces that act on me. The mind is chiefly spoken of as of two kinds, pure and impure. The impure mind is that which is possessed of desire, and the pure is that which is devoid of desire. It is indeed the mind that is the cause of men's bondage and liberation. The mind that is attached to sense objects leads to bondage, while disassociated from sense objects it tends to lead to liberation. So they think. Since liberation is predicated by and of the mind devoid of desire for sense objects, therefore the mind should always be made free of such desire by the seeker after liberation. When the mind which is attached for sense objects annihilated is fully controlled within the heart and thus realizes its own essence, then that supreme state is gained. The mind should be controlled to that extent in which it gets merged in the heart. This is jnana, realization, and this is dhyana, meditation also. All else is argumentation and verbiage. The supreme state is neither to be thought of as being something external and pleasing to the mind, nor unworthy to be thought of as something unpleasant to the mind, nor is it to be thought of as being of the form of sense pleasure, but to be thought of as essence of the ever manifest eternal supreme bliss itself. That Brahman which is free from all partiality is attained in that state. One should duly practice concentration on Om first, through the means of its letters when meditate, on Om without regard to its letters, finally on the realization with this later form of meditation on Om, the idea of the non-entity is attained as entity. That alone is Brahman, without component parts, without doubt and without taint. Realizing I am that Brahman, one becomes the immutable Brahman. Brahman is without doubt endless, beyond reason and analogy, beyond all proofs and causeless, knowing which the wise one becomes free. The highest truth is that pure consciousness which realizes there is neither control of the mind nor its coming into play. Neither am I bound nor am I a worshipper, neither am I a seeker after liberation, nor one who has attained liberation. Verily, the Atman should be known as being the same in its states of wakefulness, dreaming, and dreamless sleep. For him who has transcended the three states, there is no more rebirth. Being the one, the universal soul is present in all beings. Though one, it is seen as many, like the moon in the water. Just as it is the jar which, being removed from one place to another, changes places and not the akasha enclosed in the jar, so is the jiva which resembles the akasha. When various forms like the jar are broken again and again, the akasha does not know them to be broken, but he knows perfectly. Being covered by maya, which is a mere sound, it does not through darkness know the akasha, the blissful one. When ignorance is rent asunder, it being then itself only sees the unity. The Om as word is first looked upon as the Supreme Brahman. After that word idea has vanished, that imperishable Brahman remains. The wise one should meditate on that imperishable Brahman if he desires the peace of his soul. Two kinds of Vidya ought to be known, the word Brahman and the Supreme Brahman. One having mastered the word Brahman attains to the highest Brahman. After studying the Vedas, the intelligent one, who is solely intent on acquiring knowledge and realization, should disregard and discard the Vedas altogether, as the man who seeks to obtain rice discards the husk. Of cows which are of diverse colors, the milk is of the same color. The intelligent one regards jnana as the milk and the many branched Vedas as the cows. Like the butter hidden in milk, the pure consciousness resides in every being. That ought to be constantly churned out by the churning rod of the mind. Taking hold of the rope of knowledge, one should bring out like fire the Supreme Brahman. I am that Brahman, indivisible, immutable, and calm. Thus it is thought of, in whom reside all beings, and who resides in all beings by virtue of his being the giver of grace to all. I am that soul of the universe, the Supreme Being. I am that soul of the universe, the Supreme Being. Oh, may he protect us both together. May he nourish us both together. May we work conjointly with great energy. May our study be vigorous and effective. May we not mutually dispute, or may we not hate anyone. Om, let there be peace in me. Let there be peace in my environment. Let there be peace in the forces that act on me. Here ends the Amrita Bindu Upanishad as contained in the Krishna Yajur Vedam.